Whoa!
Ooh, welcome back, everybody. We just made it into the Cathedral of the Deep, and so now, hopefully we'll make it all the way to the end on this video. First start not by going straight forward, but if you see to the left of the room we came from originally, there are some stairs that will lead you to an evangelist with its back turned. So slowly sneak up on it to try to get that backstab, and if you fail, ready your fire orb. There we go. With her down, ooh, nice. You get a deep gem. And be careful on your way back, because at the very top of the stairs is a sneaky slime that has crept into the area. And if you're sprinting up the stairs, he will drop directly on top of you for tons of damage. Alright, so now we can head this way, and you must be careful, because as soon as you pass these pillars here, that giant we saw last video is going to awaken and try to swing at you from this second floor here. So what we're going to do is we're going to sprint like the Dickens down and around to that doorway on the other side. Chances are we're going to get hit, but you can survive one hit. You probably can't survive two. So just keep sprinting wildly, and hopefully you'll make it. Ignore any items that you see, because we're going to see these three. And ignore any enemies. Also try to stick to the inside while you're running. And look, we made it. Sometimes if you're lucky, you'll get distracted by the hollow we passed. Okay, so now we got options. Nothing on our right. Area on the left. Stairs in front of us. The stairs in front of us will lead to the bottom floor of the area on our left. And since there are enemies that drop down on top of us, we want to take care of them first. So come this way and get on this bridge, and you can actually see there's a thrall up here. And there's actually two more that will climb up from the sides. Continue to the end of the bridge and turn, and be careful of the slime up there waiting to pounce. And loot your very first miracle if you haven't purchased any so far. Seek guidance creates a little trail towards your next destination. When you come back, instead of backtracking all the way, cut to the right. And climb up the ladder. And as you can hear, there's an evangelist walking around up here. You want to stick to your dark hand though, because space is very tight. Try to circle around and get backstabs off when you can. As you can see, I died the first time. But we get the ember all the same, and you can take care of that crossbow wielder that took a pot shot at us as we were avoiding the giant. Ooh. And get a free weapon out of it, if you're lucky. So now, return down the ladder. And then down the stairs that we skipped the first time. And down these stairs leads you to the bottom floor of the room we were just in. But on the right is a chest. But be careful because it's actually a mimic. So tag it, and then you can use your dark hand to take care of it, or you can stay back and use fire orbs. I like to stay in melee range because a lot of his attacks will just go straight over your head. The only one being his grab attack. But if you're aggressive, you can tear through it quickly enough, and you get the Deep Braille Divine Tome, which we are actually not going to give to Irina. If you give her any of the Deep or Dark Divine Tomes, she offers you Dark Miracles, and if you buy any of her Dark Miracles, then not only will her questline fail and she will end up going mad, but Egon will turn hostile to you and no longer be available as a summons for future bosses, of which there is, I think, one. There's another lady we're going to give that to. Alright, when we come forward, a large Cathedral Knight steps out. These guys are a beast. They swing fast and swing hard and have their giant shield. But more importantly is they can bless their weapon. Ooh, like that. And what that does is every time they hit the ground now, it leaves behind a little spark that will explode. So you have to be very careful. Try to stay back and lob fire orbs as best you can. Or stay in close and circle around, but if you stay in close, he'll just keep shield slamming you, and that usually ends in a bad time. So, now to proceed, we want to head up those stairs, but first let's go in this room, where it might seem suspiciously spacious with one single item. And that's because, waiting for us above, oh ho ho, I was hoping I could get a look at him, is a giant crab spider, whatever these things are called. So, as you can see, when he drops down, you want to immediately back away because he can't get through, and then you can just take pot shots. He's very susceptible to fire damage, but also breathes Curse at you. Curse is a mechanic that you might remember from previous Dark Souls that kills you instantly and cuts your maximum health in half. When you stun him with a fire orb to the face, you can also run in to get a critical hit. And when he dies, you get a ring that is required for the achievement. So make sure we do this. And then here was an ember. Fill up my FP. And now we're going to proceed. And now we're on the bottom floor, where the giant was. There he is. Before we get him, though, let's clear out some of these hallways here. Travel up and down them, because there's some thralls. One there, and one here. And be careful of the statues lining the hallways, because they are the ones that will breathe the poison at you. See? There's another thrall. Now this murky water here will slow you right down, so be aware of that. And instead, make your way back to where we had fresh water. And take care of this thrall. wielding a Flamberg. And then we want to head in this way where there's unfortunately a Cathedral Knight and 2 Thralls patrolling the area, with the 3rd hanging up on the wall. So with that down, come over here. And my suggestion actually, before we tackle those 3, because it's difficult, is continue this way, because this unlocks the shortcut to the next... back to the bonfire once again. So just in case you die, so we don't have to do everything over again, open this door. And here's what I was trying to find earlier. This is another way into that area with the poison bite ring, if you missed it the first time. Come down, open this door, although you don't have to just yet. It leads to an elevator that we will use later. Most importantly, open this door to fully unlock the shortcut back to the bonfire. Rest if you need to, but I don't want, the thralls to respawn that I've killed on the ground floor, so I'm not going to. If you do, make sure you go kill those thralls that are on the other walkway, other alleyway, whatever you want to call this area. Ideally, I want to get the thralls out of the way before I tackle the Cathedral Knights. But it looks like that's not gonna work. Oh ho ho. Let's get out of here. Please stop chasing me. Switch to a fire orb. Oh, really? Two fire orbs will break his guard. Ow. Oh my god, the timing is terrible. I think we're dead. Yeah, great. Okay, there we go. Phew! Ah, sweet, he gave me my shards back, or my flasks. So now let's take care of this guy. And then we want to sprint to the end to get this. And now let's take on the giant. Feel free to fill up on FP and use pyromancies at him, but I find that this guy's easy enough to dodge his attacks to where I like to save myself the FP. The only problem is the slow water. Well, get right under his feet and then he won't be able to hit you. Problem is, that's what I was trying to say, is making it to his feet. If you see him raise his feet, then dodge forward. I don't even like to lock on. Ooh. And he dies pretty quickly. Now we can loot the area, which is very annoying because we can hardly move. Come over here for a set of maiden armor. Come over here to open the door. Go through the door to find another door. and go through that door to find 2 items. A Saint Bident, and on the right, 2 Homeward Bones. Backtrack up those stairs and through the 2 doors. The giants, by the way, do not respawn, so that's very nice. And they always drop a large Titanite shard and a dung pie. And then go over here for a soul of a nameless soldier. And then we're gonna roll all the way back to one of these 2 alleyways. We're gonna get back into the water area. And now we can pop an ember to take on an NPC invader. Oh yeah, refill on FP. You should spawn directly in front of me, this last alcove. It's either this one or the other one. Oh, there it is, Longfinger Kirk. Now, about him is he has a full set of the Armor of Thorns, but again, you can just stun lock him, take care of him. I was trying to say he deals a very large amount of bleed buildup. So if you want to equip the Bloodbite Ring and any bleed resistance gear you might have, that might help. Otherwise, you can also do the strategy of standing back and pelting him with fire orbs. Either way, I think it's pretty easy. He can hit you really hard though, and can critical hit you. That's the important thing. If he breaks your guard, he's going to critical hit you. But for now, let's backtrack, now that the giant is dead. Straight through that intersection and up to the 2nd level, and hopefully you killed the crossbow wielder up there. If not, you might want to go back to take care of him. And we can take care of this guy, if the giant didn't take care of him first. And now we can get these items. For some exploding bolts, but most importantly, Lloyd's sword ring, which is required for an achievement. And don't forget that soul. Alright. So now we can finally continue onward. And I'm full up on flasks after beating Longfinger Kirk, so don't need to deal with any of that. What we need to do now is come up to where Longfinger Kirk spawned in and pull this lever if you haven't already. I don't like to do it yet because what it does is raise, or I don't like to do it earlier, it raises this walkway, but it creates a barrier which restricts movement ever so slightly when you're fighting Longfinger Kirk. It's minimal, but hey, I want to have as much space as possible. Then we're going to come to where there's a 2nd giant, but before we take him on, go to the left, and go all the way to the corner for another lever. Which raises another walkway. You have to raise both of these to further an NPC questline, because he needs them to get to where he's going. Alright, now this part's a little tricky because not only do you have this giant here, but there are several slimes hiding in the muck. And a new enemy known as a maggot drops down from the ceiling somewhere. Forget exactly where he drops down from, but luckily, again, the slimes die with 1 fireball, so you can just stand around and pelt them. I like to work around the edge first so that we can spend as little time, or get as much time before the giant awakens. The biggest issue with this is locking onto the slimes instead of the giant's feet. It's very easy to just lock onto the giant's feet by accident. And then one of the slimes hits you from behind. Oh, crap. Oh, you try to run in between his feet. Got any more slimes? There's the maggot. Oh, I'm about to get stomped on. I think that's all the slimes, though. So now let's take care of this guy. Nope, that's not all the slimes. Oh, and I'm out of... Oh boy. There we go. Get off the lock on. Alright, and we've done it. So just keep dodging around, try to stay directly under his feet, and dodge when you see him raise one of his feet. But now we can move all the way around and get all the items, including that large titanite shard. Some Drang shoes. All the way over here is another item that's easy to miss. Or Drang hammers. Drang gauntlets. Drang armor. Large soul of an unknown traveler. And, most importantly, a pale tongue. We want as many of those as we can get our hands on, so that we don't have to farm so many later. So now, let's continue forward up those stairs. And here we actually have the area right before the boss fight. But before we do that, we got some more things we want to do. You have to be careful of the two Deacons shooting fireballs at you, but most importantly, obviously, that two-handing Cathedral Knight back there. What's worse is that there are several pews with enemies on them. Now, the enemies are passive, but if you accidentally break the pew... Oh, crap. Are you serious? That proves my point, though. If you break the pew they're sitting on, they will get up and become normal enemies. So instead, we're going to come around to the left and go around the long way. And, plus, we want to get that ember at the end anyway. Please stop shooting fireballs. Cut to the left to enter a new area where there's an elevator. Takes you up to the second floor. Exit the elevator, turn left. Come out this way and open this for a shortcut. These are those double doors that were locked when we very first started to assault the cathedral proper. Here's that graveyard area. Going down here would lead to the grave warden. There it is right there. Continue past the doors and down the stairs on the left, where we meet Sigward. before we talk to him, get this item over here. And then talk.
I am a knight of Katarina. I've managed to track down this cathedral. It's right over there. I know.
Exhaust his dialogue, and if you've been listening to every word the NPCs have said, you might notice that he sounds a little off. Walk through here for a cutscene, where it becomes apparent that Sigward is actually patches in Sigward's armor, tricking you to fall down here. But as you can tell from the dialogue, if you've killed the giants first, then all is well. He's not happy. So, what we're gonna do now is raise those platforms back up. And after all that, we're going to take that elevator that we passed on the way to the second shortcut back to the bonfire. And since it's been a while since I've rested, I'm going to take this opportunity to do so. So let's head all the way back to the cathedral. And I'm also going to take this chance to do some leveling, I think. Let me see, do I have any important items? No Estus shards, no bone shards. I've got the deep rail divine tome, but again, do not give that to Irina. What else do I have? Is that it? Yeah. Okay, so let's sell just my souls this time, I think. Or I can sell 2 of these embers. Oh yeah, we want to sell the dung pie. Gross. We can sell 2 homeward bones also.
Ashen one.
Welcome home, speak. Very well, then take note.
And is that enough to 1, 2? Yes, we can get to our next milestone of 24 attunement. So now we're going to work towards 30 intelligence and a 30 faith, which is going to take quite a while, as you might guess. So let's travel back. Now we want to go this way. And now we're going to take that elevator. This brings us up to another rafters area of the outside of the cathedral, and to the crossbow wielder from the very beginning. So take him out. Come out to his little ledge here, but if you turn left and slowly walk around the corner, there is a ladder. Head up here to find another deacon. That drops a deep ring upon defeats, again making him necessary for the platinum trophy. Then you can come out this way, and you want to drop down on top of this walkway. Just gotta be careful because there's that gap there. So just dodge forward, and you should make it no problem. Be careful as we head up because the thralls have respawned if you've rested. The ones that were dropping down can now climb up. If you saw, also on the left there is a great axe hollow. So let's take him on. Very susceptible to backstabs. And let's slowly work our way forward. Because there will be thralls coming out of the woodwork, and we have the halberd wielder in front of us. Every time you kill a thrall, check backwards to make sure one didn't pop up behind you. And we can also head back into the rafters of the cathedral here, but we're going to save that for another time. It'll be very shortly here. And also, you can check to the right of each of these little sections for both enemies. Oh, there he is. And the next one has an item. This one can be skipped if you don't want to deal with those thralls. Right, but now the halberd wielder's working his way back, so let's take care of that guy. And then the next opportunity you can take a right, do so. Careful of thralls, there's somewhere. Maybe? Up there he is. I hope that's the only one. I think that's the only one. Come down here to get an arbalest, which you can actually give to Pickle Pea and Pumplerum for something. We're working our way all the way to the end, but be careful, because if you go to attack this guy, you'll be ambushed. There they are. Grab another pale tongue, which is fantastic. And then work your way back until the first chance you can enter the rafters. Which I think is right here. Yes. Do so, and be very careful. There's thralls crawling around here. But what's worse is there are cathedral knights, as if that wasn't bad enough. Take care of that guy. There's this thrall here. Which, that's the good news, is they can walk themselves off. There's another thrall down here. And then we want to come across here to get that item, but we want to be wary of the cathedral knight. So let's switch to our fire orbs. Luckily these ones do not have shields, which makes this much easier. But with his insane range, it's still no picnic. So make sure to stay far away from him. And we get a blessed gem. Alright, so now let's take care of these two cathedral knights. 95% of the time, if you aggro them and then kind of slowly work your way back to that area we just were, they'll walk themselves off of the rafters. But it doesn't work 100% of the time. Okay, there we go. Nice. And this one you want to keep your shield up for because he has a crossbow and will start peppering you when you get close. So you need to get close enough to him to where he switches to his melee weapon. And then start backing away. Again, hopefully he'll walk himself off. If he doesn't though, you want to take him all the way back to the area where you fought the first Cathedral Knight, so that you have plenty of room. There we go. Okay. So, with that done, go all the way back to where he was. They were. And before you get to the very last rafter here, actually go back to this one, and we can drop down onto that platform from here. Make sure you're at full health because it's quite a drop. And just to be safe, try to roll. Go ahead and heal up again if you can, because we got another drop to do, which doesn't deal as much damage, but is still treacherous. This one you do not need to roll for. And we are now on the other side of the second floor. Be careful of the cleric maggot. They go down easily enough though. And you find patches. Oop.
Huh? Yes, I'm Patchy. You seem to be do you have business?
Say you know who I am.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm regrettable. Looking, all's well. Yeah.
And you get the prostration gesture.
Oh,
And if you talk to him again,
just a little.
you get a rusted coin.
You should know if you're.
And you can use him as a vendor, which he sells the Catarina armor along with some other goodies. We are actually going to have to save up for this Catarina armor to further someone's storyline.
Can't find anything you like. Oh, you could.
So before that though, pull this lever, which activates the walkway that Patches dropped on you earlier, and it creates a shortcut back to the other side of the cathedral. But instead of taking that, let's heal up and head through here. Equip some fireballs. You don't need fire orbs for this part, because you will find a maggot here, and they're very susceptible to fire. There's a cleric one on the left. But most importantly, yeah, as you can see, several of them start dropping down from the ceiling. Pepper them all with fireballs from a distance. And now you can safely make your way over to the other side to a strangely passive maggot that you can kill all the same. Because he drops a red sign soapstone, which is an online ability, item. Go through here and open the doors. In here you find not only a bonfire, but our next covenant. Light this up, rest if you need to. And if you killed Longfinger Kirk, then he drops his armor right here. And we can talk to Rosaria, Mother of Rebirth, and ask to join her covenant. The Rosaria's Fingers. This is a special one that lets you... Oh yeah, and we get an achievement. Offer Pale Tongues. We can also use Pale Tongues to reallocate our attributes, which means respec, and alter our appearance. Whatever you do, though, do not offer a Pale Tongue to her. You can reallocate attributes or alter your appearance if you want, but do not offer a Pale Tongue. That will completely eliminate the ability to finish Cirrus's questline, as she will turn hostile towards you, which will cease us from being able to get some rings and gestures, I think. We're going to start saving up for Sigward's armor, which costs 15,000 souls. So now let's take on the boss. Oop. Kill that guy again, and this one. You can either kill or ignore the other maggots. But since we're trying to farm for some souls here, let's take care of them. Careful you don't get too close, because they can leap forward at you. And since these guys net, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9... Yeah, 1,000 souls. 990. We can take this opportunity to farm souls right here if you want. Or we can just go take on the boss. Oop. If we're lucky, we might get 15,000 before we reach the boss, but I don't think we will. Head back to the other side of the cathedral and up the stairs ahead of you. Take a right. Go past the double doors. Go through here, and here's that elevator, which will lead you to the chapel area with the pews that you don't want to destroy. I'm gonna stay back. I'm gonna try to wait for the Deacons there to get far away from that guy. Oh, never mind. Ah, this is bad. This is very bad. Shoot! Oh, he did drop something though, an ember, nice. Now we can kill these guys for some free souls. And we can come around to the back. To the back there are 2 summon signs. And sometimes, I think you have to trigger something first. There's a 3rd one down here. Yeah. That one triggers if you haven't done Henri and Oris's questline, I think. But we got Henri and we got Horus. And you can summon both of them. So do so if you're embered. If you're not, then pop one. And summon the 2 phantoms. And then be prepared to fight one of the easier bosses of the game. Although, having said that, that does not mean they can't kill you. It's not a cakewalk. The way this works, the Deacons of the Deep is several Deacon enemies all running around. And you can just... But one of them will be glowing red. That's the one that you need to kill to damage the boss's life total. When you get it down to about half health, phase 2 will start, which will spawn, I think, 6 like special Deacons that take more damage and deal more damage. One of which is going to be glowing red, and he will be permanently glowing red, and he will be the object of our attention for the remainder of the boss fight. And it adds a move that they can all raise their arms and send dark orbs to the center of the room to send a giant one your way at some point when it builds up, kind of like a spirit bomb from Dragon Ball Z. But other than that, it's just running around and killing Deacons. That's the whole game, the whole boss fight. So let's do it. You want to focus on the one in red, and I like to stick with my Dark Hand rather than fire orbs, just because these guys are slightly resistant to fire. And it's hard to get several in a hit. Be careful of that though. Every time you kill one of the red ones, the health bar goes down, and the red orb jumps to a new guy. Sometimes it might be nice, especially for these bigger gentlemen, to stay back. Oh, that's perfect. And shoot fire orbs. If the glowing red Deacon is really wedged in a large group, then it's nice to throw fire orbs in there. But if they're kind of far away from everyone, then don't bother. And you can still get backstabs. Let's heal up. It is easy to accidentally die. Alright, phase 2 is starting. Now, since there's so many of them, take this time to, hurl some fire bombs in there. Whoa. Back away, buddy. Now, the ones in the blue have a special move where they explode a holy aura. Oh, here comes the spirit bomb. Alright, we've cleared the way, so now we can get at the main boss. Just get in there and start whacking away. Ow, ow. See, this is the biggest issue with it, is you can get wedged into the group and just hit repeatedly. So sometimes you want to back away, get some distance, start clearing the way. There we go. And you can keep spawning new Deacons. As long as you're careful. This fight is one of the easiest. Ow. And there we have it. You get his soul, and you get the small doll, which is required to finish the game. And you get a bonfire. And an achievement. So... yeah, let's rest up. And when you rest, you actually spawn an item where you can get the Archdeacon Garb. And you should have enough now, if you didn't earlier, to get Sigward's armor. Sigward. So let's head back Although the Cathedral Knight will have respawned, so keep that in mind. There we go. Oh, nice. And now I'm just gonna book it. Oh no, I guess I can take care of these guys. They're easy enough. Alright, let's head all the way back. Go up the elevator. You could also homeward bone back to Rosaria's bedchambers if you want. It still respawns all your enemies though. Keep that in mind whenever you're thinking about using a homeward bone, that it counts as resting, and so all the enemies do reset. Now, go ahead and sell the items I want to sell while I'm here, like these embers. Oop. And the soul of the Deacons for a whopping 20,000. And then we can buy Sigward's armor. All you need is the helm, the armor, the gauntlets, and the leggings. You don't need to buy the pierce shield, even though that is the shield he uses.
Thanks, good.
So with that, now we are going to head back to Rosaria's bedchamber. And then from there travel to the other place with the thing. Cleansing Chapel, that's what it's called. I always like to kill all of them just because it's so easy and gets you almost 1,000 souls, so why not? Alright, so with armor in hand, let's head back to the Cleansing Chapel. Head out the front door. The exploding hollow is gone, but the one on the right is still here. And if you walk towards the well, you'll get some dialogue. And then you can talk to the well to find Sigward. He's been stripped of his armor and thrown down the well, to which you can throw his armor down to help him. So do so. And wait for the dialogue. And you get a gesture. Exhaust his dialogue, and then we are out of here. Let's head back to Firelink to do some leveling. I already sold my stuff with patches, but if you didn't, then do so with the shrine handmade. And actually, before we level up, there's some more we can do with some NPCs, namely Henri and Horace. I always like to talk to Horace even though it doesn't do anything.
We spoke before. I'm well pleased. We reached the man-eater little Doldrin of Hillgranstone. Aldrich is a pilgrim, sir.
Make sure to exhaust her dialogue, because we have to finish her quest line in order to get the ending we're seeking. And then, oop, wrong way. It was on the right side. Go out to Firelink Tower. Head on up for hopefully what will be the last time. And all the way across the bridge. And head up the elevator. You'll hear the gate close behind you as you rise, which is what we're trying to trigger, so immediately turn right back around and head down. And you find that the gate has been closed by our good friend Patches.
Sorry, friend. Bean, son? Oh.
This guy sucks. What he doesn't know is you've already unlocked the way down. So trigger that again by hopping down there. Go the easy route instead of the hard one. And head on out. And back into Firelink. Back up those same stairs, but this time we're going to go past the triple arches. And we find that Patches has moved up here.
Now, oh, you
Do not forgive him if you want some free loot. He gives you a rusted gold coin, which is a same as a rusted coin, but gives you even more item discovery.
wait, just
And then sells his wares, which you can buy if you want. There's nothing new here, I don't think. Or maybe there's one thing, but who cares? Exhaust his dialogue, and he talks about Grey Rat.
Can't find anything for you.
And then if you want, you can go ahead and quit the game and reload, and you'll find that Patches is now pulling a gesture that he gives you when you talk to him. But I'm just going to wait until I naturally come back to Firelink Shrine, since that will do the same thing. You can also talk to Hawkwood to get some kind of item, I forget what it is. But I save that for after Abyss Watchers, because he gives you a second item then. That's a boss, by the way. And so I just get both of them in one fell swoop. Which I think is everything we want to do here. We don't. What do we got in our inventory? Okay, no Estus shards, no bone shards. Nothing I want to infuse. Oh, I have enough Titanite to upgrade my Pyromancer's Flame now. That's good. Do I have anything to give to anybody? No, again, just that Deep Braille Tome, which we're not going to use for quite some time. Let's reinforce our Pyromancy Flame.
Do not pick. What is it?
And now we get to spend the rest on levels, which is perfect. Because now Intelligence and Faith
Welcome, host speaker.
leads to more damage from the Dark Hand. Alright, so again we're aiming for 30-30, so it's going to be a while. But that's everything we want to do here. So now, instead of heading back to the Deacons of the Deep, because that's a dead end, we are going to continue our push from Farron Keep, which we should have unlocked earlier if you went down the ladder past the 2 NPCs in the swamp in the road to sacrifices. And we will call it there on this long video. Next we'll tackle what a lot of people think is the most annoying part of the entire game in Farron Woods. Until then, stay safe.